Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Just going to open up a Temu haul. Now, I'll open it and I'll sort the things that are photography related, so you're not looking at everything. If you watch to the end, you'll get some thoughts on some of these things that I've bought and some thoughts on Temu in regard to buying items that us people who do video and photo quite often may be interested in. I'll just start off by cutting this open without trying to damage anything that's inside. This is always pretty much the way Temu sends things, so they don't send them in boxes. It's usually in this type of bag, which may or may not be ideal. Like I said, I'll separate the things that are relevant and the things that are not. I can't even remember what I've got in here. Okay. All right. Get rid of that. Let's start by shirts. They're not relevant. Get them out of the way. It's not relevant. Some of these things I don't know what probably is in some of these packets actually. Okay, this is what we're left with. We'll go through them. Now, some of these are just little protective cases or covers, whatever you want to call them. Now, to buy these things locally for me, they're not that cheap. I got these from Temu because the prices are really quite low. So this is either meant for a GoPro or action camera, but you can put whatever you want in there. So, you know, you might carry a mic and a receiver or something like that and zip it up, and you can throw that in your camera bag. It's quite handy. So I've got a number of action cameras and things, and I do tend to just throw them in my camera bag, and when you're traveling they rub together. So part of the reason for buying these type of covers is for that reason. Can't remember the exact price offhand, but they were quite cheap. So I've got a number of different ones for different functions. I'll just put them over here. I think they were like $2 or $3, something like that, Australian dollars. Now, I can't tell what's in each of these boxes, so I'm going to have to open them one at a time. Okay, so this is a magic arm. Now, this is quite a small one, but these arms also aren't very, well, I wouldn't call them cheap when you buy them locally. This might be a third of the price buying it at Temu. Now, it's basically the same thing. So you might be thinking, why buy from Temu or why not buy local? What's the pros and the cons? Okay, you can return things to Temu. Because they're from overseas, I tend not to do that. So my idea or my thinking with buying things from Temu is I'll buy things that are quite cheap with the view that I'm probably not going to return them. It'll be too much hassle. For instance, let's say this was, for instance, let's just say it was $25 on eBay or Amazon or whatever. And if it was $20 at Temu, I wouldn't buy it. But if it's a third of the price, I will. As you may know, at least with Amazon, it's quite easy to fix up any problems or return if something doesn't is not the way that it's advertised. You can return it quite easily. Temu, you can, maybe not so easy. eBay depends on the seller. So that's my thinking. That's my strategy when I've been buying things. So there's a magic arm, an extension, 3/8 extension. Now you can use that for anything. You can use that for camera, light stand, microphone, etc., etc. Again, the price was quite cheap. The quality looks quite good. That's actually very stiff. It's not. That's going to serve its function well. So you got 3/8 on both ends on this one. You can probably get 1/4 as well, but I didn't look. So that's another item that I've bought from there. Like I said, I don't know what's in each of these boxes, so you just have to bear with me. Okay, another magic arm, just a different length. Similar thing to the other one. It's just a larger version. So I won't open that up. You can buy the different versions. Let's see what's in this. One thing I noticed also from Temu is things are always wrapped and so much plastic on everything. Plastic and plastic. I bet you this is inside a plastic bag in here as well. What did I tell you? So plastic inside plastic. Okay, this is a V-mount kit. So you can mount this onto something like a cage or onto a clamp or something, and you've got the ability to use your V-mount batteries. I'll give you an idea, but you can also clamp or put this adapter plate here onto something so that you can use multiple things on the V-mount clamp. Okay, so there's your standard kind of V. Yeah, so as I was saying, V-mount, which you can mount this onto whatever, and then your V-mount battery, who has also the V-mount, will click in and make a liar out of me, of course. And yeah, you can mount that on there. Anyway, I'll play around with it later. It's probably this clamp's not sort of clicking in the right spot at the moment, but might be. Oh, there it goes. So yeah, there's your V-mount mounting. That's a V-mount battery. So yeah, these things are quite expensive in many places. I don't know why. You can get other camera quick release systems and they're not that expensive. But anyway, looks like I don't remember ordering this, but anyway, this looks like some sort of mini tripod. Oh no, it's okay. It's a mini tripod. One thing I can tell about this one here in particular, if you find it on Temu, is it's quite heavy. That's too heavy. So I don't think it's aluminium. It perhaps is made out of steel. Good quality, no doubt, but that's probably too heavy for my purposes actually, so I can tell straight away. Again, like I said, when I buy things like this, I don't buy things that are going to be too expensive that I need to return. So, but I can use that. I can use that in my studio or at home or whatever. I wouldn't be carrying it with me. It feels like it's 1 pound. These are normally much lighter than that. But anyway, the quality seems quite good, so that's probably the main thing. This should be a clamp, a ball clamp. Plastic on plastic. Hopefully no more plastic when we get inside here. Oh no, it's more plastic, of course. How much plastic? What's it? The third layer of plastic. Now these. That's the other thing is to keep in mind. They have to be cheap as well, because, like with this, the picture, it sort of looks like a normal type of ball clamp arrangement and size, whereas this is actually quite small. I don't mind small, but being this size means I can't put as much weight on it, and not only can I not put as much weight on it, but the price for this now no longer is, so it's not as cheap as what I thought it was going to be. If it was the full size one, like a normal sized, which is probably, I don't know, I'll try and give you an example. Okay, well, I don't know if you know what size V-mount is, but you can see this V-mount clamp is quite small, so that is very small. I can use it for action cameras, microphones, things like that, but now I'm going to have to order some normal size ones. I probably didn't look closely at the specs. It feels like it'll hold quite a bit. No, see, I can force that, but there's a bit of leverage, I guess, on this end. But for small cameras and microphones and things, this will be fine. So you can put this onto some sort of a clamp, like a super. Yeah, so you could get this and put it onto something like these, one of these type of mini clamps. You could screw that in like this, and then either put you could clamp that onto the leg of a tripod, for instance, and put a action camera on here, or put some other item, like maybe you want to put, maybe you've got Arca plates on your cameras or on your action cameras. You could put something like that, have that out here, and you've got a second mount then off the leg of your tripod for another camera. So yeah, even though it's small, it'll still come in handy, especially with this extension on here. Sort of keeps it away from, imagine if that's on a tripod leg, that gives you a bit of space to have a small camera, or even, that'd probably be enough space to have a full-size mirrorless camera. I don't know whether I'd sit one of them on there. Maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't. I'll try that later. Anyway, that's what you can do with those type of clamps. So yeah, that's a magic arm. I think we've covered everything here. This is just the same. The last item is, again, to do with V-mount batteries. So this is another V-mount clamp. This you can clamp onto a light stand again, or onto a tripod leg or whatever. And it's so that you can use your V-mount batteries with your camera or whatever items you want to use it with. So that'll clamp onto a leg or a light stand, and then you have your V-mount battery, which will then clip in there like that. And when you want to take it off, just press the button, take it off. And if you bought something like this other one that we were talking about, you could mount this onto whatever. You could mount it onto a camera cage, for instance, possibly. I don't know, you probably wouldn't do it with a camera, that's probably not a good idea. Some other thing, microphone, something like that, and use that. That'll make it suitable to go on and off a quick release V-mount. So it all depends if you use V-mount at all or not, but this particular clamp that I got, it's all plastic. I don't know whether the other ones on eBay, Amazon, etc. are plastic or metal, but most of them they wanted $30 for something like this. I can't remember the price of this, but it was significantly less than that. So I think that's it. That wraps up the end of this unboxing, and hopefully it gives you some ideas of the different things you can do. If you've got any questions or you're not sure what something does or how it works, feel free to put it in the comments and I'll answer whatever I can. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.